This is my first video, and there's probably going to be a lot of mistakes and stuff on it. I've got a new camera ordered. I don't know how that's going to work out. This one, for some reason, won't hook up to my TV set, so I have to keep running around and moving things around. But this is what we're going to try to make today. It's made out of cherry, and it's just a little toothpick holder. You lift it up, and the toothpicks just hop out at you. Take one out, let it go, and down it goes. And it works out real well for little gift or whatever. What you're going to find out when the first couple of times that people use it, they're going to take the top completely off, and you're going to have toothpicks all over the place. But they're kind of fun to make, and we'll see how it goes. If there's any comments or anything, I can take the criticism. I won't hunt you down or anything. So let's see if we can get this all edited together and get it up and ready to show. I got a little piece of cherry here. It's about 2 inches, about two inches square. Let's check it out. Make sure. Yeah, 2 inches by 5 inches. We're gonna mark out the centers on it, and we're gonna make a toothpick holder today. So let's see how we come out here. Poke the holes for the centers, and then, okay, I'm turning it about 1200. I'm going to round this out into a cylinder so I can keep my fat hand out of the way. Okay, remember, always turn your lathe off before you move your tool rest. A little awkward here because I'm trying to stay out of the way of the camera. Give it a few whacks with a round it out, get it nice and smooth. Probably get a catch because this is not my favorite. The camera's in the way. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we're going to put some tenons on the end so that we can chuck each piece up in the vise. We're going to make a top and bottom. So I just usually take my and just square it up a bit. And I have a skew sharpened just for this. Now we've got to decide how long we want it. I think I'll run over here and get a toothpick. Ha-ha. Aha. Let's see. There's one. Okay, we got a toothpick. We're going to do the top. So we'll make the top about like that for now. Now, the toothpick is that long. Now we have a little area that we've got to, so we want it at least that long. So we're going to take this over to the bandsaw and cut it off. And then we'll do the top first. Meet you over at the bandsaw in a minute. Okay, before we do any cutting on the bandsaw, I want to show you a little jig I made up to cut round items. If you don't have one, you can use a clamp. But I made this up. It's just a V block with a piece of track on the bottom that fits in the slot. And we'll use this to cut off the sections of the toothpick holder. And it just goes in there like that. And that's that. We're all done cutting that off. We'll go back to the lathe and chuck it up and get ready to go. Okay, before we go any further, I want to show you something I did to my chuck. I took a little Dremel tool and I cut a notch in there. And I mark it with my pencil. That way if I ever have to take this out and put it back in, it goes back in exactly the same spot. And this we will be taking out at least once and putting back in. So now I'm going to readjust the camera. We're going to flush the ends up, and then I'm going to drill a hole in here. You can hollow it if you want, but we need fairly straight sides for the mechanism that goes in here. So it's easier for me to just take a Forstner bit and just drill it out and then sand it and done with it. And then we can fit the top on. And let me move the camera and we'll get started further. Alright, let's get going and get her get the end straightened out here. I'm going to slow it down, and I decided on 1 3/8 Forstner bit, so we'll drill her down to the depth, and see how much further we got to go. Yeah, we have to go down to the chuck. So, here we go again. One more time. That should be it. Okay. Alright, that's that for now. Let me turn this off. We're going to do a sanding on the interior a little bit. A little note about sanding. Don't stick your fingers in here with sandpaper on here. If the sandpaper gets hung up, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. I use forceps. Just clip the sandpaper on there, and don't put your fingers in there. Hold it like this in case it grabs. Go ahead, turn it on. Get it in there. Get your sanding done. I started out with 220. I'll go to 320, 400. Then I'll put a friction polish on the inside, and I'm done with it. I'm not going to bore you with sanding. We'll just move on to fitting the lid on here in a minute. I'll get the sanding done and be back, and we'll fit the lid. Okay, I finished sanding it and did a quick friction polish on the inside. Now let's put the top on and fit the top to the bottom, and move on from there. Nice, I dropped it. Oh. We'll set this over here. This goes in here. Okay. Mark this notch. I don't know whether we'll need to take this off and put it back on or not, but we'll do that. Let's get the bottom straightened out. fit from the top to the bottom. And I know that we went 1 3/8. We want a pretty loose fit, so we'll just set it up to 1 3/8. And that was a waste of camera time, so I was off getting this set up. Trying to let the camera see what I'm doing, and I end up causing trouble for me. So we want a pretty loose fit. We don't want one that loose though. That was dumber than oh get out. So okay, we're getting close now. Yep, that's good. Okay. We'll take this off here. Catch. I'm goofing off now. Making a mess out of it now. Wow. Really screwed that one up, didn't I? That's what I get for trying to hurry. Let's get her all straightened out and fix it. See what it looks like now. Pretty good. Now we need a little more of a lip on there. Oh boy. Sometimes when you get in a hurry, you pay for it. okay on that part. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but a 1/4-inch hole in the top now. We can go straight through because we're going to put a little finial on the top of the contrasting wood. So, and I'm lazy, so I'm just going to do it that way. It's just a drill chuck that I made a handle for, and it's neat for making little holes like that. Okay, I'm going to sand this and then put the top back on, or put the bottom back on, and we'll fit the top to it, and then we'll make the guts for everything. Okay, it's all polished up and ready to go. Let's put the top and bottom together, turn them down, and move on to the rest of what we have to do. So, take the top out. Put the bottom back in. Remember the little mark I talked about? Right there. Got that all set up. Now, since this is loose fitting, and we're going to turn it down, I'm going to put a couple layers of paper towel between it, just like this. And that'll hold it a little tighter for me. We can turn it down the way we want it, and it shouldn't slip. I won't say won't, but shouldn't. Let's see if that's a good picture. Back it up a little bit. There we go. Now, we're going to just turn it down to basically a square shape, and then shape the top. I mean, not a square, but a cylinder. We don't have a lot to play with right now, so we'll just take our time. We know that that's the bottom right there, so I think I'll use a skew on this again. Okay. Start shaping the top. Okay, that's pretty good for a rough shape right now. Spin this around and see if we can line up the grain a little bit. I know we took quite a bit of it off, but we can get it pretty close. Yep, that's actually pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is sand it, get it pretty well sanded and polished, and then we'll go to the inside mechanism and the finial. Back in a minute. Okay, got her all polished up. We're gonna take it apart and continue on. There's the top off. Let's lay that to the side for now. Oops, dropped my ruler. So we want to reestablish the bottom again. Make sure we know where it is. That's it right there. We'll put another 1/4 inch on it so that we don't go through the bottom when we trim this. And let's find out where that mark went to again. Clean this up a little bit. Just going to part it off. We'll clean that up in a minute here. See if we can make a jam chuck for this. That's where we want to go to. Now we want to be careful doing this, that we don't put it on too tight and split it. Okay, now we'll bring the tailstock up again. And see if that holds it tight enough so that we can work the bottom and get the bottom done. Then we won't have to worry about it. So let's get her done. As Larry would say, the cable guy. concave, so it sits on whatever surface it sits on flat. Try to work the bottom so that it kind of flows right in. Now, I have a couple of spindle gouges I've got real sharp for doing things like this. They're a little hard to control. They sure are nice for getting into little tight spots like this. Now I'll take this down as far as I can. And then I will take believe it or not, a skew. Take that little nub the rest of the way off. And there we go. Now, that's just a little plastic button I turned for my center for doing things like that doesn't poke another hole in there. Now we'll smack that back on and sand it. I'm not gonna have you watch me sanding, so I'll get that done. Okay, that's all polished now. We'll take that off the jam chuck, put the top on it, and there's what it looks like so far. Let me go move the camera. I got a new camera ordered. Hopefully I'll be able to, where'd it go? Come back here, thingy. There it be. Okay. There it is together. The top's got a few cracks on it, but for demonstration purposes, that's okay for now. What we're going to do now is get set up to turn the finial for the top. I found a little piece of, I don't know, little pen blank I had laying around. I'll put that in there. We'll turn the finial for the top, and then we'll make the inside mechanism. Now we're going to make the finial for the top. I hope you can see this. It's got to have a 1/4-inch hole drilled in it, the end straightened up, so we'll get busy doing that. I changed to my other chuck with the pin jaws on it, so I can hold this small piece fairly stable. Okay, let's make it round instead of screwing around and messing everything up. this a little bit concave so it'll fit the lid alright. I need a 1/4-inch hole in the center, and you will see what that's for in a little bit. Okay, let's get our hole ready to drill. I'm going to just use a starting bit so that the hole goes in fairly straight. No, exactly straight, not fairly straight. Bit in. And I don't need to go very deep with a 1/4-inch one. That's probably more than enough right there. So alright, let's start shaping it. We're not going to do anything fancy. Let me turn this offline. Move the tool rest in as close as I can get it. Well, if all else fails, go to the big one. Now, we're not going to be too fancy with this. It's just going to be a little knob on the top, so let's just take our time and see what we come up with. Okay, we got a little chip out of here. That's going to cause some problems. It's almost too far down now to try and correct that. But This is why you turn a lathe off when you're trying to find that perfect spot for the tool rest. Nothing like getting your tool rest caught in a chuck. It has a tendency to really ruin your day. And your tool rest too. See, I just told you not to do this, and here I am doing it. Chip out of there. Oh, a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to leave that alone for now. Sand it up and polish it, and be back in a minute. Now we find a piece of scrap wood, anything you want, and we'll turn it down to fit inside the bottom. So we went a little under 1 3/8. But my fat hand is not in the way. Alright. Round the bottom over. Don't have to be very deep. Okay. I want to go all the way inside without dragging. So okay, that seems reasonable. I don't see any problem with that. Maybe a little bit at the top up here. We'll trim it up. Now, we want to put a 1/4 inch hole in here again. So let's do the same thing. Wondering about all these 1/4 inch holes where there's you can either turn the dowel or just use a plain old wooden dowel to hold this in, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. But right now what we need to do is establish an area for the toothpicks to ride. So fit? Nope. So we'll just do it with a parting tool and clean it up. Little tiny spindle gouge. Square it up a little bit. Round over the edges carefully. Actually, I should move my tool rest, but I'm too lazy to do it, so I'm probably going to mess something up. I quit. Okay, I'm going to do some sanding now and then part this off and show you how it works. Okay, now I'm going to take a 1/4 inch dowel, about an inch or so longer, maybe 2 inches longer than the container, and I'm going to glue it in here with super glue. I'm using a thick now, and there's really nothing now. If you want to, you can take and put your center in there and turn some little beads and stuff on here. I don't want to mess with it right now, but it's up to you guys to do what you want. Okay, that's stuck. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to part this off. I'm not going to worry too much about what the bottom looks like, because nobody will ever see it. Of course, that's not true. I'll worry about it, so I'll probably turn it around, chuck it up in another chuck, and straighten out the bottom on it. We'll see how it comes out. Where's my pencil mark? Oh, right on the edge. Okay. Okay, here we go. First of all, let's round the bottom over just a taste. Actually, that bottom's not that bad. So I'll straighten it out with a little bit of sandpaper. and we'll move on here in a second. Okay, now we're going to fit it all together. Make sure this slides in and out of here easily with no problem. We'll take and put the top on, slide it down, and then we'll push it down till it's right there, and then maybe just a taste more. Take a pencil, mark the top, probably a 1/4 inch or so. That's all you really need. Now you could take a saw, the bandsaw, whatever, and cut it off on there. I've got a little hand saw. Oh, hang on, I'll go cut it off on the bandsaw. Now we'll set that down in there, make sure it fits right. Put the top on, lift it up. Put a handful of toothpicks in it without dropping everything on the floor. Now, here's how she works. Take a toothpick out and let it go. Take a toothpick out, let it go. Now all we have to do is glue the top on and we're done with it. Complete. It's got some cracks and stuff on it, but it's a demo piece. Let me turn it off for now and glue everything together.